So welcome to Satsang. As you know, if you have any questions, you're welcome to pose your questions by speaking your question directly or by writing it in the chat box. So one could say that this manifestation, this experience, this temporary appearance is about awakening to the truth, the true self. We say the true self as if there is any other self than the true self. In fact, there isn't. There is only one self, one awareness, one truth, one reality. But we say the true self because the mind is deluded in its fascination with images, images that it takes to be a true representation of what I am. In fact, there is no image or any set of images that can represent the self that is invisible. All images are mind. They are temporary whirlpools. They are temporary blurbs that we mistake to be what I am. In awakening to the self, you awaken to the transparency of being. Which is not a mental appearance. It is an experience of causeless peace and happiness. It's a sort of dissolution, dissolving into the stillness of being, the stillness of presence. Which precedes the arising of thought and the arising of images. The images that arise to you only express your dream. They do not express what you truly are. And you are free to dream, of course. But it's much more pleasant to dream sweet dreams. And the way to dream sweet dreams is for the virus of ignorance, the illusion of separation, the separate me, to dissolve. And it dissolves upon your inquiry, upon your investigation into the nature of consciousness, into the reality of consciousness. And inquiry into what evidence is there that I am a separate consciousness, that I am a male or a female consciousness, that I am a consciousness that is born in time and space. If thought says yes, you are a consciousness that is born in time and space. And if a feeling says yes, you are a limited self. We can question whether we should believe the thought that we perceive or the feeling that we perceive. How can a thought or a feeling know what I am? The privilege of self-knowing, self-knowledge, is only available to the self. It's not available to any arising. It's not available to anything that you perceive. It's not available to anything that you think. So it's not available to thoughts and sensations to know you. This privilege is only available to you, the true you, which is consciousness, the reality that perceives this perception right now. This reality is beyond any doubt. It's undeniable, but is unnameable. It has no name. It has no identity, but it is undeniable. So via your inquiry into what am I truly, you come to the truth, to the true stillness, the true silence, the true being that you are. Because within this question is the seed of truth. But if you continue to live with the assumption that you are a man or a woman, that you are a mother or a father, that you are attractive, handsome, or not, if you live from these impressions without questioning them, just seeking sensations, seeking pleasure, seeking to be loved and to be cajoled, you will remain entrapped in the sense of separation, and the unhappiness that is deeply within your heart will remain. So we take a bold look at these sets of images and feelings that we identify with. The entire me structure, the play, the display. We take a close look at that. At these thoughts that keep churning in our mind about what I am, what is happening to me. All these thoughts are illusion. They refer to the dream character that you mistake yourself to be. What truly perceives this perception right now is not a dream character. The reality of perception is not a dream, although what is perceived could be a dream. Like in your night dream, you perceive all sorts of dreams. But what perceives these dreams is not a dream. What perceives all the images that appear, all the thoughts and the sensations that appear to you is not something that appears or disappears. What appears disappears. There is that does not appear nor disappears. It is non-objective, non-phenomenal. Do you know that? So if you have any questions,
Hi, Magdi.
hello, Esther.
Hi. Would you speak to just the sheer simplicity of living the truth? It seems the thought is always making it complicated. Just anything that comes.
You know, you can say so much more about living the complication than living the simplicity. Because in living the simplicity of being, living truth, there isn't really much to say about it. There aren't too many stories, there aren't too many. Actually, there are no stories. I could say that living truth is a sort of absence. It's a present absence, or maybe we could say an absent presence. It's a peaceful and clear mind. Unencumbered. It's like an open field, the station, open stage, or a vast mirror, infinite mirror. So the mind is clear, and somehow there is wisdom, but it's not a personal wisdom, it's the universal wisdom that speaks and reveals itself instantaneously. There isn't a memory of anything. It's an instantaneous arising. It's the time collapses in presence, in the eternity of being. So you don't have the linear time, the realm of linear time of coming and going and getting somewhere or going from somewhere to somewhere. It may seem for the mind that is so boring, because goodness, you're not going anywhere, you gotta go somewhere. But the beauty about the mind that is free from time is that it is happy, it is at peace where it is. It is not seeking, it is content, peaceful, present, aware and awake, but without any need, without a desire. And the body is no longer a concern. The body is experienced as transparent. And there is a freedom in the body, a vastness, and a formless quality that is the quality of, we can say, the quality of space or the quality of infinity. And at the heart level, there is a sense of intimacy and connection and love and compassion and an understanding and an instantaneous empathy and the absence of judgment. And in the life experiences, the experience is that of beauty, enjoyment. It's a sense of immense gratitude for the divine revelation, because it is not a personal revelation. It is a divine revelation. It's a gratitude. for everyone who contributes to this awakening. And of course, there is a gratitude for the teaching and for the infinite teachers that have appeared and continue to appear to guide us and be available to us in our journey. So it's experience of peace and happiness and truth and love and beauty and freedom. And a childlike quality. But not a childish one. And there is an ongoing recognition of the truth. But it's a recognition that does not have a personal recognizer in it. It's just a recognition. Of the formless reality that is somehow right now taking on this form. And in this particular moment, it's taken on the form of satsang, which is a very lovely form. But it's quite mysterious, isn't it? And very sweet. There is a recognition that all is one. There is no separation. It's just intimacy. The intimacy of being, one being, which we call love, and which we call I. This I is a shining light. And the clouds are the clouds of me in time, me yesterday, me tomorrow. And this me, this identification, sets a shadow onto the innate wisdom of the self. Although in fact, the sun is shining bright. When you are looking at the sun with your hand in front of your face, you don't perceive the full light and brightness and clarity of the sun. you need to remove your hand. You need to open your eyes. You don't need a new set of eyes. Just open your eyes. And in opening your eyes, you recognize yourself. The self that you have always been. The self that is. Genderless, nameless, borderless. So invite your entire being to this deep relaxation, allowing all thoughts or bodily sensations to expand and dissolve in the space of being, in the vastness of awareness. No need to attach yourself to any thoughts or sensations about yourself, about these images, this bundle of images, this so-called future and so-called past. Return over and over to pure presence, the vastness and the restfulness of being. Oh, yeah. Enjoy your freedom, which is the freedom of the self. Celebrate it every moment, every instant. It is a wonder, such wonder. Somehow we forget the wonder. And we become so preoccupied with our thoughts and images about ourselves. It's pretty sad, isn't it?
Hi, Magdi.
Hello, Anne.
I wasn't sure if have you finished that one? Yeah. There's been a deepening this week. Every week seems to get richer and fuller and happier. I was contemplating not being separate because that's something I've never felt I could reach. Almost, I've never seen that. And as I was contemplating it, everything just dropped away. And then it's the first time I've seen through that and since then I've had quite a lot of moments of that. So it's been quite fast, sort of meing and being, and it's been really good.
It's very beautiful.
Yeah, it's just, it is really wonderful at the moment. However, there's loads of questions coming up, and quite a lot of confusion because there's such strong realities that, you know, like when I've fallen back, so to speak, that's the reality. But then when I'm back in personhood, that's the reality. And so it's confusing because because it's going so fast. It's confusing me, and there's almost a desire to want to stabilize and end that meing and being, as if there's a goal. But I know there isn't a goal, but it's like I know that the reality is always there. Who I am is constant, and the dream is not constant. But I can't seem to, there's just not, even though I've seen it so much, it's like there's something still not convinced that that's the one reality that you talk of.
You know what trips us are the feelings. We experience some feelings, and I think Anne dropped off. I think she may be having a problem with her connection. Oh, here you are back, Anne. Are you here, Anne?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, a few of us keep losing connection tonight, so
yes,
we keep
I
disappearing. Okay.
I noticed.
Yeah.
So the feelings, the feelings always refer to a me, and they have a sticky effect. They like a velcroic quality to them.
Yeah.
When we feel something, we tend to identify with the feeling, and then we're trying to fix the feeling, or trying to improve the feeling, or hold on to the feeling. So it's really important to understand that awakening to the self doesn't have anything to do with feelings.
Yeah.
It's not a feeling. It's not an experience in time and space. It's not something that can be improved.
Yeah.
You see? So whatever comes and go is meant to come and go. Trying to hold on to something that comes, and then you're holding on to the wrong thing, because what comes is bound to go. It's more like a ripening of a fruit, you see. It's not like suddenly there is a fruit. No, the fruit is there, but there is a almost an invisible ripening of the fruit. Slowly, the fruit is transforming, and the internally, it's all sorts of changes are happening, and externally all sorts of changes are happening. And at some point, it'll be like the perfume of the fruit will start to arise, and then will start to fill the entire orchard. It is more like that. It's more of a unnoticed, like under the radar sort of shift, let's say, or understanding. And of course, there are also these moments where there is yes, I somehow deeply within there is I get it, you know. But all these I get it with the experience that comes with that of a certain clarity and happiness are part of the ripening. They're not the end result.
No.
You see. So
When you talk about the ripening,
yes.
it feels like there's a constant backdrop, is what I'd call it, going on, that I'm noticing more and more. I'm becoming aware of more and more this backdrop. It's something that I fall into, and it's more of a sort of emptiness or transparent, you call it. And that seems to be that if I contemplate now or turn my attention to it, I seem to be able to drop into that very easily. But it still takes effort to turn my attention away from the body mind and the feelings and visions and things.
Okay. You have to be watchful not to objectify. Consciousness or truth. The I am already is. Yes. So this awakening to the self is more of the veils becoming thinner and thinner, you see. It's not about I, because the I already is, yes?
Yeah.
The I already is, it's already realized, it is self-knowing. So it's more of the veils thinning out, and there is simultaneously the mind that comes up and says, "Oh, I'm getting it." You see, "Oh, I'm getting it. I'm getting it." So there's a virtual I, a virtual self. You could call it an illusory self that arises within thought, the mind, that says, "Oh, okay, you know, I'm getting it." And that virtual self, that illusory self, is hypnotic. It sort of takes the persona of the true self and says, "Okay, I'm getting it sometimes, and sometimes I'm not getting it, and I'm getting a sense of this, I'm getting a sense of that." You see, in all these arisings, they arise effortlessly to the transparency of being. So the transparency of being is. Oops, we lost you again. Okay, I see that you are back. Okay.
Yes.
So I was saying the transparency of being is, the self already is. It does not need to realize anything. It's already self-realized. Yes? Self-realized. So it's more about the impression of me, the impression of the person, or the impression of being somebody, a set of images and feelings, to see through that, to contemplate on what basis is that the true self, on what is the basis for these thoughts and these images to represent what I truly am. What on what ground, what justifies this position? And you will find that there is no justification for this position, because there is no evidence whatsoever that the self is a somebody, is a female body or a male body. That's a belief.
So when, in these times that I feel like I'm dropping back, I can see that the dream is a dream.
Mm-hmm.
It's just mind-blowing. It's like, how could I ever believe that all that is real when it's just a dream, what I'm seeing, what I thought I was. And then but then that comes back. Is that what you're talking about?
Well,
it's like I've seen the reality totally and I'm in it, and then all of a sudden the me's back and
yes,
that's the reality again.
yes,
When
yes.
I've just been convinced that it's not,
Right, right.
it is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's confusing.
Yes.
It's like, and that's there all the time. The backdrop is always there. It's becoming much stronger.
Yes. Well, there is a process of discrimination, of differentiating between what feels so absolutely real but isn't,
Mm,
and what doesn't feel absolutely real but is.
mm,
The tree in the yard feels so real.
mm,
I can touch it, it feels so real.
mm.
And the awareness that is perceiving, without which the tree isn't even possible. Any experience of a tree is completely impossible without awareness.
Mm.
Awareness that is invisible, it doesn't seem real, right?
Yeah.
So this is we need to make a switch in our discrimination between what is real and what isn't real.
Mm.
What appears and disappears cannot be real, because a reality that appears or disappears, or a reality that changes, no matter how real it may seem like so freaking real. I could swear by all the angels about it. Still, I come back 500 years later and it's changed. It might even not even be there. I gotta sober up, like when you're so used to drinking 10 shots of scotch or whatever it is, and you're perceiving, darn, believe me, this person that's sitting on the couch right there in my home that lives with me is very real, and nobody else sees it but you. You gotta sober up, and so what comes and goes, what changes, what appears and disappears, what grows and then this dissolves, this disappears, is an arising. Is like a dream. In your dream, in night dreams, it seems very real. I mean, during the dream, I understand afterwards, but during the dream, it may seem very real. Like sometimes in your sleep, for example, you may be driving and you'll find that you suddenly you jerk your foot to go for the brake, but you're in your bed, you're sleeping, but it feels like, and you'll find that, it's just and it may wake you up sometimes. Wake you up. It feels very real, but there is an understanding in your contemplation, and you continue in your inquiry, in your contemplation, noticing in your life that you are betting on the wrong horse. You are, oops, lost you again. Well, you'll be able to hear it in the recording. I'll wait a minute. Okay, Anne, you're back. But you'll be able to listen to the recording anyways.
Yeah.
So I was saying you're betting on the wrong horse, in that you're putting your bet on what feels to be very real, seems to be very real, but isn't. The reality of consciousness is not about what you experience. It's not about what is perceived. Yes. So keep turning your attention to that doesn't appear and disappear, and it will turn its attention more and more to itself.
Fantastic, thank you, Magdi.
Okay, Anne. And sorry about these interruptions with the Wi-Fi, but okay, it's a question that came from Bill. Thank you, Anne. Hey, Bill. So you write, "Hi, Magdi. You are speaking about feelings, referring to the me. Feelings seem to be real. They seem important. I am looking at this more, trying not to be deceived by feelings which pretend to be true. Can we say that feelings are always ignorance? Thank you. Always, Bill." Yes, Bill. Yes. You could say that using feelings or believing feelings to be a true expression about you, because feelings are always about about you. I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that. To believe feelings to be a true expression about you is ignorance. Yes, yes. So I would be very wary about falling prey to my feelings. When feelings arise, it's best to remain still and to notice that at that moment, the I thought, the me, the person, has arisen, and thoughts about me in the future, or about me in the past, regrets, or anxiety about tomorrow, or some fears. So, and the feelings will arise simultaneously with the I thought, me in time and space. And that is illusion. But yet it will feel very real. Your heart will maybe be pounding. You may feel cold sweats. You may feel a great contraction within your body if you have a deep sorrow about some image that arose about you in the past. It's always, feelings are always referring to some bundle of images I take myself to be. What we refer to as me, which is a bundle of images and sensations. And as I was telling Anne, it's really important to discriminate between what seems to be real and what is real. A lot of things seem to be real, like, for example, when you go to the circus, a lot of things will seem to be real. You may see people that are the magician that is cutting the woman in half with the saw. It seems to be very real. Or the fellow who's taking rabbits out of the hat. It seems to be very real. But you know that it is a play of mirrors. There's some sort of play going on. And what is real is not what seems to be real. You say they seem important. Why are feelings important? Feelings are a dime a dozen. Why are they so important? They're only as important as the importance that you give them. In some cultures, they don't do much feelings. Some other cultures are very big on feelings. For example, in the United States, they're very big on feelings. Oh, I feel like this, I feel like that. Oh, I feelings, you hurt my feelings. In other cultures, some other cultures are not about feelings. They may be more stoic about that. So they're not that important, really. You're trying not to be deceived by feelings. That's good. Feelings will always deceive you. Only when you see the illusory nature of the me within those feelings. Because within the feeling there is a me. And if you don't see that illusion, the illusion of this me, that this me is not the real I, not the real self, then it may feel to you that it's true and it's real. And you will find yourself deceived. Okay, Bill. Thank you for your question. So any question?
Hi, Magdi.
Yes, hello, Paul.
It's not really a question, it's more of a reporting.
Mm-hmm.
I was driving today, and I suppose you could call it a glimpse. I just sort of realised that how giving this sort of appearance is. You might want to call it life or this appearance, but I've heard people call it love before, and I've not really realised what they were talking about, what they meant. But it was just it was lovely. It lasted quite a few minutes, and it was just so obvious that it's just constantly giving without any conditions, and the only thing that sometimes makes me think it's not giving or loving is the mind, which goes directly 180 degrees against the giving and the love, because my mind is always throwing up negative things, whereas what I saw today was or what I was in today was a complete openness and givingness. It's like even death is giving, even death is love. And then my mind went to something that was an issue for me at the moment, and then all of a sudden it just became back to reality, which is really the dream.
Mm-hmm.
And what I was seeing in terms of the givingness of this appearance is the reality.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And it was good because when I was in that sort of space of seeing the truth, let's say, the truth seemed a lot real to me than what my mind was trying to throw against it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just a really nice experience.
Mm-hmm.
And one that sort of it stayed with me for the rest of the day, and not necessarily that I've been thinking about it a lot. It's just given me a lighter,
Mm-hmm.
A lighter feel about the day, and more of a spring in my step,
Mm-hmm.
without really knowing why, other than I was just in that moment, and just seeing things as they are.
Beautiful. Yes, very nice. I'm glad, Paul. I'm very glad. Yes, in a way, that's that's sort of an experience of truth, of reality, before the mind comes in and says, oh, it should be this way, or I should have that, or why isn't it this way, or why did it happen over there, not over here, blah, 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 before this, all these, which is the me is just this bundle of thoughts, that arises about how things should be, or wishing for something else. It's always about resistance or seeking. Oh, resisting, no, it shouldn't rain, it shouldn't snow, or seeking, oh, why isn't it richer, the land, why isn't the land richer here than over there, whatever. What you are speaking about is like this recognition, the recognition of the infinite, whoops, I lost you, Paul. I think Paul and Anne are having the internet issue. I'll wait a minute for Paul to come back. Oh, okay. You are back, Paul, yes?
Yeah, I've been cut off a few times.
Yes, right, I know. So I was saying that in this recognition that you are sharing with us, it's a recognition of the infinite bounty, let's say, of consciousness, the infinite potential of consciousness. And there is a sense of gratitude and appreciation, let's say, and an enjoyment, and it's a recognition, and it's a fulfilling recognition. It's not, oh my goodness, what more can I get, or how much more do I need? You see, it's not like that. And just the breath and awareness, just this awareness is amazing. That there is the gift of awareness.
When you mentioned gratitude, that's exactly what it was like. It's pure gratitude, because it's a thing of that. The me just constantly wants to tell me that I deserve this, that, and the other. Whereas this seeing today was, there's no deserving.
Yes.
It's anything that happens to you, or anything that happens, let's say, in this appearance, is a gift.
Yes.
Whether it be good or bad by the me.
Yes.
And there's such a liberation in that.
Yes. And there's also the tremendous gift of contemplation, that there is, that somehow the inquiry process has somehow came to us, that because we recognize that it's possible to live in the bubble for lifetimes after lifetimes. And here we are, now there is, it's as if there is a pop happening in the bubble. And that's very, very beautiful. There's an appreciation of that, a recognition and gratitude for that. And it's a universal gratitude. It's a gratitude for everybody and for everything, including everything that has happened to us and that is happening to us. The difficult and the easy, whichever way the mind labels it, doesn't matter. But it's all part of our journey that is bringing us to this moment of recognition and openness and gratitude. And so we there's a cherishing of that, cherishing that insight. Yes, it's very, insights like that, they have a deep impact within the matrix. Yeah.
I've had similar glimpses before over the last few years, but this one was quite different because there's no sense of trying to clutch onto it here. There's no sense of trying to stay with it or get back to it. It's just it's in the flow. It's like, yes, things like, you know, glimpses will happen, but
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't matter when they're not happening. It doesn't mean I'm further away from anything or nearer to anything when I'm getting the glimpses, because there is nothing
Mm-hmm.
to get closer to, and there is nowhere to get. It's just, yeah, just I just feel.
Oh, yeah. A glimpse goes into the system of ignorance, the structures of ignorance, and loosens them, dissolves them, or breaks some of them down. So there is an effect that the glimpse has on the structure, on the me structure, the belief structure. And in terms of, you know, not holding on to it, the mind has a tendency to objectify a glimpse. It says, oh, you know, it makes it an object, and then there is a separate subject and an object. So there is a sense of separation that the mind tries to do, to objectify, and therefore now let me seek it again, let me go look for it. And as soon as there is that process, there is a sense of lack that comes again, the sense that there's something that I've lost, I need to find it again. All of that is mind. It's best to understand. Oops, I lost you again, Paul. To comprehend that a glimpse doesn't refer to the mind. A glimpse bypasses the mind. So and to leave it at that. Yes. Okay, I lost Paul, but he'd be able to listen to that later. Oh, here you are, Paul.
Yeah, it's best. It's best to something.
Yeah, I was saying that the mind has a tendency to objectify the glimpse, to make it into an experience with a subject and an object. But the glimpse is not an object, because it doesn't refer to a subject. The separate self, the mind, is absent in a glimpse. A glimpse bypasses the mind. There is no mind in the glimpse. And it's best to understand that and let it be, not to grasp at it, because it's ungraspable. It's not possible to grasp consciousness. It's not graspable. Yes. But it has a deep impact on the body mind, and it also chips away at the ignorance.
Yeah, that's how it feels. Yeah, thank you, Magdi.
Okay, Paul. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, very lovely. Thank you, Zoe. I received your question, Zoe. Zoe writes, could you speak more about this statement, separation is imagination? Separation is imagination. Yeah. So in this moment, the moment of presence, a moment of being, pure, simple presence. Nowhere, not trying to go anywhere, not seeking anything. If you turn your attention to your direct experience in this moment, which is it's one experience, which is the experience of being, of awareness. Yes? If you turn your attention to this experience, awareness, right now, what is separation? What is separate from your experience? Your experience is made out of, you could say, perceptions, sensations, and thoughts. But of course, primarily your experience is awareness, beingness. And then there is perception, for example. And this perception may be perception of an oak tree in the yard. Yes? The baby looks at the oak tree. Does the baby say, the oak tree is over there and I'm over here? The mind doesn't have that download yet. The baby's mind doesn't have the download. The tree is over there and I'm over here. It may not even have the word tree. It may not have learned yet the language tree. But look at your experience when you're looking at the tree in the yard. Are you experiencing a tree in the yard? Or are you experiencing your experience, which we call an image or a perception? If you look at this question, you may come to understand that, oh, in fact, I'm experiencing my experience. I'm experiencing an image. And where is this image? Is it out there in the yard? Or is it intimate with the eye that perceives it? And isn't it intimate with the awareness? Can you separate the image from yourself? You see, you will find out that in fact, you can't separate anything from yourself. You can't separate the image from yourself. You cannot separate the thought from yourself. You cannot separate the sensation from yourself. There is no separation. Separation is a thought that arises that says, I want this, I don't have it. For example. So thought says, this is over there, I don't have it, I want it. Within that thought is ignorance, because the first block of ignorance within the thought is that I am a person. I am a separate self, and there is a world out there. Boom, right there is separation, which is a thought. And of course, it's a feeling, because the thought reverberates throughout the body. So we feel the thought. The thought says, I am here and I want that, which is over there. That thought is also felt, and that's separation. But if you look at it, it's just thought and sensation. It's a belief. It's a belief that I am a body, that I meaning consciousness. What other I is there besides consciousness? The body appears to you. It's not there in deep sleep. So the belief that says, I am the body, is separation. I am the person. I'm a male or female, is separation. And it's illusion. So the saying separation is imagination or separation is illusion is, once you look into it, it's very obvious. And as soon as there is separation, there is all sorts of thoughts that continue. Oh, how will I do? How am I doing? What am I going to do tomorrow? Am I living the right life? And will I be enlightened, this year? Blah, blah. It all refers to me, the person, which is the I thought. So you could say that the I thought is separation. Francis Lucille used to often say that his teacher, Jean Klein, used to say there is, in the entire world, there is nothing that is separate. In the entire universe, there is nothing that is separate. In fact, the entire universe is your very self, is your very dream, is consciousness. What is the universe without you, without consciousness, without I consciousness? Consciousness is real. We know that from our direct experience. If there is a universe outside of consciousness, then that universe must also be real. That means there are two realities. There is the reality of consciousness and the reality of the cosmos or the universe. It defies reality, the meaning of reality, when you're speaking of two realities. Right? So separation means there are more than one reality. Right? And it's impossible that there would be more than one reality, because reality is one. How do we know that reality is one? We know it intuitively, and we also know it via reasoning. The very significance of reality means one. If there were two realities, something would need to know that there are two realities. Because if there are two realities and nothing knows that, then what are we talking about? Whatever knows that there are two realities is that one reality, the absolute reality. Like Francis used to say, the buck has to stop somewhere. And the buck stops at one reality. The entire contemplation, the entire spiritual journey is about reality. It is not about what I believe or what I feel or what I experience, blah, blah. It's about reality. There is one reality. If you come to the deep comprehension of that, you've achieved the highest understanding. Okay, Zoe, thank you for your question. I saw you were online before and then somehow you dropped off. There may be some cosmic issue with the internet. But thank you, Harity. Okay, so I just want to remind everyone that there is the retreat, about the Costa Rica retreat, which is from October 27 to November 1st. It starts on Saturday. Yes, yeah. October 29, different nation. Okay. So it seems that there will be 2 days at one location and 4 days at another location, but they're both in San Jose. So if you are looking for any more details, you can contact us, Tara or myself. Okay, any questions, anyone? Okay, then thank you for your lovely company, and for your love and your friendship and your love for truth. Thank you all, and we'll see you again next week, yes? And then Cheryl and Esther, Holly. Okay, namaste.
Thank you so much, Magdi.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Holly. Bye, everybody.